did not end up making a video Friday because I got really busy. Football game at school, and I just didn't have enough time to get a video around. Today's video is going to be on a few products from Reef Nutrition. Now, if you recently have been watching my videos, I did a video on Algae Barnes products, a couple of their products. I got phytoplankton and 5,280 Copepods, or whatever they called it. I was slightly satisfied with the products. Phytoplankton did way better than the Copepods. I still see a couple Copepods down in the system down there, and obviously they came dispersed in the aquarium, so I'm not going to hate on them for anything. So they have good products, but I was talking with my buddy Chad at Reef Nutrition. He got me some good products, and we are going to go show you exactly how to use these products and what they're used for. And this is just a portion of Reef Nutrition's products. If you go check out their website, I will have their website linked in the description below. So let's flip this camera around. This is a newer 10 gallon. It's been up and running for quite a while now. I have a green chromis in there, and that's just about it. The next fish is going to be added probably within the next week or two is a mandarin fish, and then a watchman goby and a pistol shrimp pair, and that's going to be all the fish for this tank. Maybe a couple more invertebrates and a lettuce nudibranch possibly, because I'm going to flip this camera around, and you're going to see exactly why I may need a lettuce nudibranch. One thing you have got to be careful with lettuce nudibranchs is if they die, pretty much your whole system's done for. They'll wipe out your whole entire tank, and it's a smaller tank, so you want to be careful. But this light is super powerful for a 10 gallon, produces plenty of algae, and that thing will be totally fine. And if not, I can supplement algae and macroalgae in the aquarium, because I have a separate macroalgae tank to grow macros. I got some dragon's tongue, red Garcia, some other type of, I'm not sure exactly on the type of macro, sea lettuce, saw blade, and then Tdo. And then I got some blue hypnea algae coming in soon, so that's going to be really cool. That stuff is awesome. So I'm going to flip the camera around, we're going to look at this tank, have a little chat about that, and we're going to start stocking it. This tank is already stocked with tiger pods. They are doing awesome. So I'm going to flip this camera around, and we're going to see exactly what's going on in this tank. Lots of algae on this rock. There's one snail that somewhat travels over here every now and then. It actually cleaned this whole part of the rock, and then it went underneath. So that's the only thing that I was really excited because he started to clean. This rock over here always stays clean because all the snails, I got black margarita snails, and they just sit there all day and just constantly clean that rock. No other rock, just that rock. And there's one snail, he's a type of turbo snail sitting under there, and he comes up there and cleans off that coral, or not coral, the rock every now and then. So hopefully he keeps cleaning. If it's like that in the next couple days, I'm going to get a lettuce nudibranch and see how he does. And if I start seeing him not doing so well, I'm going to have to take him out of the system and figure out something else. Maybe putting him here for a while. This is definitely not a temporary spot because it doesn't have a filter or anything. And by the end of this week, I will have a different tank there, a bigger tank to grow some more macros, and a better light for that thing because that actually doesn't have a filter. It's just salt water with an LED light on top of it starting to grow macros. I'll give you a quick look at that. There's a couple different things of macro in there. There is some dragon's tongue in here that I kind of fragged off of that piece that started to grow. Other than that, quick rundown, I got some nice zoas in here. Palithoas, mushrooms. What else? I got some type of clam in here that kind of latches itself to the back of that. We got a sponge growing in the back here with Kenya tree. You can't barely see the Kenya tree, but it's starting to grow there. Green star polyps that were half dead that I got, and they don't look like they ended up making. I'm going to leave them in there for a couple more days and see if the polyps start to pop out. But it doesn't look too promising. And then I got a couple disco mushrooms scattered. There's one up there and one down there. Like I said, the one thing, and I got waving hand polyps today that decided to fall off the rock, so I got to put those back on the rock and see if they'll end up staying. Other than that, the one thing, like I said, the problem with this tank is the algae, so I got to get that figured out. Snails are doing good on this rock and this rock only, so one snail, like I said, travels every now and then, but it's just not enough to keep up with this magnificent light. So other than that, we're going to get to the products. We got some tiger pods. This tank is already fully stocked with tiger pods. It's not even funny. They're all along this glass. These little dots are all Copepods. There's the green chromis. He likes to hide until I back away from the tank. He is a pretty fish, and they're really easy to keep, and they're cheap. And he's the first fish I put in here just to kind of test the water and make sure everything was okay. Everything tested all right. So I added to him, and we're going to see how he does. And if he does really good, in the next couple weeks I will have a mandarin fish in here. I will stock this tank with some apex pods. Sorry for my language, I'm really tired and everything. We got some oyster feast. I'm going to feed my oyster down here. It's not an oyster, it's a type of clam. I'm really not sure what it is, but it is a clam, and he opens up and he is vibrant orange, and it's really, really cool. As you can see, I got an actual BioCube skimmer on here. It's actually doing really well. It's keeping everything perfect. Phyto Feast, I will stock this tank with like half of this bottle. Put the rest of that bottle in there. I got a few feather dusters, big feather dusters in there. And I got Copepods in the refugium that I need to feed and everything. And then this, I'll probably end up stocking into here and seeing how this population does. I'll probably end up putting half of it in this tank. I thought about putting them in there, but I'm not ready because I'm going to tear that tank down and put a 4-gallon cube up to grow some more macro with better lighting and everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to stock these things. A lot of the times what I do is I actually set this in the water just to kind of get them a little bit more temperature acclimated so they don't get shocked as bad. Now a lot of people just squirt them out, and that's totally fine, but I just like to be a little extra careful with my Copepods. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera down and I'm going to show you how I add the Copepods to this tank. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stock the Apex pods into this, which is actually where a lot of the Copepods are. If I start tapping this, lots of Copepods just shift out into the tank. And I don't have a problem with the Copepods getting sucked up because I got a sponge on the front and I just have to clean that. I never actually have to change this out. It's a type of biofilter. This was kind of jerry-rigged up, and it's really nice because it makes things so much easier, especially for a saltwater tank. You can use this for Copepods, and you can actually mount a light on the back and set some macro on top, or take one of these pads out and put macro in there and make sure it's all weighted down and everything so it doesn't shift out in your tank, obviously. Well, that's perfect for Copepods. And another thing is you won't really have leftover food sitting around because it'll get sucked to that filter and the fish can actually just pick it off. So that's really convenient. Here's what I do with my Copepods. I simply just put a few squirts in. I just squirt it onto that little mat right there. If you actually look real close, there's lots of Copepods creeping around in there. I'll probably put half this bottle in today, and we'll see how the population looks tomorrow, and I may add the other half. Take that back, I'm just going to put the whole thing in. And like I said, I'm getting a mandarin fish at some point in the next couple weeks, so I want to make sure this population is totally maxed out. And obviously the green chromis is going to do a little damage here. So, and then usually what I'll do is I'll put the bottle in the tank and swish it around just to make sure I got all the pods out. It does not look like I have anything left in there. So, I got all those pods in. They're really small. You can kind of see a couple in there. It almost looks like little tiny pieces of phytoplankton, which I'm going to add next. And I'll just add that straight into that thing too. Copepods will eat that along with corals and just lots of other things. I don't typically actually have any corals that will full on eat this. Zoals will eat it and everything. But really, soft corals and stuff like that take all the nutrients from the water, and that's really actually how they grow. I got a couple of Hollywood Stunner pieces in here that I have had in there for about 2 days now, and they're actually starting to look really, really good. They actually need calcium and everything and all the trace elements. So they actually, I use salt that already has that in there. It's not the instant ocean stuff. It's 2 little fishies, and it has calcium and all the trace elements in it, and magnesium. So that'll actually give it the skeletal functions and everything to grow just like it's supposed to. And that one's actually already started to grow a little bit, and I can already tell it's starting to grow. So really excited to see how those go. I'm gonna put probably half and half, and so half of this in this tank and half in the 75 over there. Next plan for this tank, actually, just to give you a quick heads up, is yellow long-nosed butterfly fish. So I'm real excited about that. I'm gonna open this and get the refugium ready. That is my 100 refugium from ProClear. Really nice. I got nice saw blade mackerel, and there's some sea lettuce and Tdo mixed in, and then I got my refugium fish in there, along with a couple shrimp in there. It's a crab in there that it actually ended up killing my frogfish in that tank, and I was not expecting it, and I didn't even really know that emerald crab was that big. I'll probably end up running them back to my store at some point. Other than that, we're going to add this Phyto Feast into this tank and see how it does. I'm really not worried. The corals and everything will actually probably enjoy it. I have a pom-pom crab in here and a feather duster, so they will definitely enjoy this. So for the not the Copepods, for the Phyto Feast, you want to make sure it's all shook it up and everything, so you have all the residue and stuff off the bottom of them. And I'm just gonna put a couple squirts in because this is full-on phytoplankton. There may be a little bit of liquid other than the phytoplankton, and I'm just gonna put a couple squirts in there, and that's literally about it. I'm just gonna let that B, there's plenty of Copepods in there, and the corals will enjoy it up top. I already put some in the other tank. I probably put a squirt and a half, if that, because that other tank is a little bit cloudy right now, but that's totally fine, because phytoplankton is good for corals, copepods, and obviously feather dusters and everything else in there. The clam will eat it too. I'm going to put a little bit of the oyster feast in there for you guys, and that's going to be it for this video. So guys, that's really going to be a wrap up for this video. What I want to do is just show you a couple of products. The oyster feast is going to be on a whole separate video. One thing I want to show you before this video is over is the Tdo Boost right here. This stuff is awesome, and I'm actually going to feed it. It's the Tdo Chroma Boost, my bad. Let me turn the light on here. I'm going to go ahead and feed it to, I got a 4-stripe damselfish in here. This is actually the frogfish tank or the scorpionfish tank. Like I said, the other one ended up dying. I had a colored frogfish in here for about 2 weeks, and I did not realize the crab was picking on it and stuff, so that was not a happy day, because frogfish are not cheap. And let me tell you, I was pretty mad. Sorry. I was actually really mad, let me say that. I'm going to flip the camera around to show you this guy eating this stuff, and this guy actually brings out their color. I've even noticed my blue hippo tank and everything is way more vibrant than it has been in the past, and same with the clownfish and the Scopus tank of all tanks. So I'm really excited to see how vibrant they actually get with this stuff, and it's very, very healthy. I read the ingredients and everything. This stuff is the best way to go. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and we're going to show you this guy eating, and that's going to be it. So I'm just going to simply drop it in there like you would any fish food. And he comes out and he eats. Pardon the algenic glass, I don't have any snails in here except for one that's down there on the paleozoas, or palathos. Like I said, look at this guy, he's just chowing it down. He absolutely loves it. It's a different supplement to feed your fish other than brine shrimp. I usually feed my fish brine shrimp, live brine shrimp, mysis shrimp every now and then. But it's nice to give them a little variety of different kinds of foods to keep their health really high and everything. My hippo tank actually got ick for a while, and I started feeding this stuff, and just switching up their diet can actually mean a lot of things. So I've learned that the variety of diet can actually help out on your fish, and like your fish diet really actually depends on the fish's health and everything. Feed it real well with a lot of different variety, you're going to have a very healthy fish. Well guys, I want to thank you for watching that video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Definitely have a couple more videos coming out soon with more of their products. We got some more phytoplankton to use up and the oyster feast. So I'm really excited about the oyster feast. Like I said, the tank's a little cloudy right now because I probably added a little bit too much phytoplankton in the tank. There's really not a problem with overdosing phytoplankton. The feather duster and the corals are probably enjoying it right now. I can tell all the corals and everything are eating. So that'll clear by tomorrow, and we'll have some more videos coming out this week on the oyster feast. I'm going to try to target feed the clam in here, so I'm really excited about that. Other than that, don't forget to be the fish and get outdoors. We'll see you on the next video.